Hi, my name is Dale Blakely. I'm the Business Development and Program Coordinator here at Community Innovation Lab, or as we like to refer to it as iLab. I spent most of my career in business development, various forms, various industries, from product management, marketing management, and I got to spend a bit of time with the Federal Economic Development, or an organization called FedDev. And there I was introduced to the economic development ecosystem that we've got through all of Ontario, through all of Canada, and that's what kind of introduced or drew me to this organization. The organization was incepted in 2012 by Pramila Ramdhani, and it was really done to help solve some of the socioeconomic gaps that we were finding in Durham region, starting with youth that were not in education, employment or training, and the acronym for that group is NEAT. So we had a youth program and helped that age group, 15 to 29, to start their own businesses and look at entrepreneurship as a career option as opposed to some of the challenges that they were facing. Some of the flagship programs that we've run over the years has certainly been the NEAT program for organizations that were going to make a difference in the world. The Refinery is a big one, and that was for female founders. When that was incepted back in 2015, there wasn't a lot of support for female entrepreneurs. There is more so today, and rightfully so, but that's been a big program for ours. And the one that drew me to the organization was what ended up to be the SPICE program, or an entrepreneurship program for seniors. So the program was called Seniorpreneur Program for Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship, or SPICE. And that became a nickname or an acronym that really stuck. And it was the SPICE program. And we were known throughout all the region for the SPICE program. And so when you hear that out, and you may hear it through parts of this organization and others, but that's where it came from. Seniorpreneur Program for Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship, or SPICE. And that was a driver for me for several areas. Looking into the demographics, they represent, the people aged 55 and above, represent about 27% of the region's population, and that's expected to grow to 34% by the year 2031. And people in this demographic have a lot of unique challenges, and that's a relevant factor that we talk a lot about in our programming. And the fact that whether it be implicit or explicit, a lot of people felt that challenge in this age group. The other aspect was the fact that it was a pilot project to test the appetite, to see if there was a need for entrepreneurial support for this demographic. So that intrigued me and kind of drew me into the organization, and something that, for me personally, I could kind of incept from the ground up and put my own mark on the program itself. We developed it from scratch, and that was kind of key because we could put our own kind of stamp on things. Developed into 3 different cohorts of approximately 16 to 20 each, and ran it 1 day a week for 4 weeks. So we ran one in April, one in May, and the other in July. And we had set it up from kind of all aspects of entrepreneurial programming, from business modeling to aspects that they would need to know through setting up a business, from finance to marketing to sales. Tech was a biggie. Social media was a biggie, because a lot of this demographic were not as familiar, and some were afraid of social media. The other thing that we found from this particular program, as well as some of our others, that people really wanted the comfort zone, being amongst people their own age or their own demographic. People in the Refinery, as an example, which is our female founders programming, felt more comfortable with other females around them to talk about issues and challenges and so on. And I found the same thing with the SPICE program, that they were more comfortable because they had very similar life experiences, and challenges, and they were much more comfortable talking about those and opening up about those with people of their similar age group. Biggest result is there's a demand for this program. The program was very well received. We had 51 people go through the program. Most people that went through the program found it was either useful or very useful. All wanted it to continue. All identified the fact that there was a need for support for this particular age group, and there was just not the supports out there. This was something very unique, not only to the Durham region, but also to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so it was well received. Many that had gone through the program had identified that the fact that they were very serious to continue with their business idea or the business that they had started. Some were comfortable in the fact that they knew they had to pivot, that their business idea wasn't what they originally thought it was going to be, but had the knowledge and the comfort level to make that pivot and to say, my thought process was X isn't going to work, and so I'm going to pivot over and look at Y. But they had the comfort level, and the confidence level was the big thing that I saw that said, now I know I can do it. And some walked in very skeptical. Some people that had been in business for a while, and we were teaching some new concepts that are now being taught in business schools today. And some were a little skeptical of that we'd be able to provide them with any sort of different tools. And the most skeptical came out the most rewarded. And that was kind of a fun thing to watch. So the biggest things that I saw out of the program is that there's a demand for entrepreneurial support for this demographic, age 55 and above, that it provided the confidence to be able to take an idea and turn that into a business, or the business that they had already started, to where to go to take that business, to develop that from where it is now to where they want to take it. So in my estimation, the program was very successful. The pilot program was sponsored by the Ontario Trillium Foundation. They gave us a one-year pilot program, and we had applied to extend that for another 3 years, a similar thing that we did for the Refinery. We're a not-for-profit organization, so we certainly depend on donations, certainly from the community, but from the government as well. And we found out just around the middle of the pandemic that we did not get the funding for the program. There is definitely a need for the program, and we want to pick that up as soon as we're able and continue that in the future. All of the momentum that we had, we don't want to lose. We want to kind of keep it going, but we do rely on funds to be able to do that. So we're fairly confident that we'll be able to secure the funding to start the program up, and then we can dive into things a little further and a little more deeper than we're able to do in the pilot. Well, with a 3-year program, there's a lot of things that we could do, not only different, but in addition to what we did this year. So with the pilot program, we're able to scratch the surface. We were there to understand whether there's a demand, and be able to provide some substantive programming and substantive tools and skill sets for this group to take either a business and turn it into a business idea, or take a business and then expand that into something that is be able to provide an income or give them some scalable proportions. The other thing that we have intention to do is go to a SPICE 2.0. That is, take this particular cohort and take them into the next phase of programming and for their specific businesses. So we could really dive deep to really help these organizations expand and provide not only economic development for the area for themselves, but provide job opportunities for others. I think that's one of the key things that would allow us to do with a deeper program, and all things that we had planned to do with the next phase. The future of the organization is going to be different. Previously, our past programming had involved crowds of people close together, collaborating with each other, helping one another, and in a big room, and that was the learning process, and that was how we had developed our programming. That's all going to change post-COVID. We're going to be developing more courses online. We're going to look at smaller groups. We're going to have to do things differently, and we're in the phase now of looking to see how we re-engineer and how we pivot ourselves and retool down the road to provide this supports, but to do it differently. Now, the nice thing about going online is that we can reach a larger number of people. And I think that's going to be really important to the region going forward. COVID has changed so much, and it's changed jobs so much. People that were working are not working anymore, and the prospects from some of those jobs are just not coming back. People that aren't going to be able to rely on the employment situation the way it was before are going to be turning to entrepreneurship and going to be responsible for their own living, if you will, and their own support system. And there's going to be more and more need, we certainly believe, for entrepreneurship and the supports for those entrepreneurs going forward. So I think the role of the organization within the community is going to be important, and I think the supporting of entrepreneurs and people that want to be entrepreneurs is going to be very significant for Durham Region. I thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this series. It's been very helpful for us to get our message across, and hopefully that we've been able to give you a little idea of who we are and what types of things we do. And come check us out. We're a very open space, we're a very safe space. We welcome all. We're very collaborative, and as you can see, we're very colorful. So we're very happy to chat, and very happy to talk to anybody, whether it be over the phone or preferably in person. So please come down, check us out, and we'll hope to see you soon.